People don't like talking to you, and it's not because you're boring or broken, you're just not giving them enough of what they crave. I'm Josue, a relationship coach with Love Decoded, a group dedicated to helping shy young guys start dating their dream girl in 90 days or less. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the only 4 things that people crave in conversation so that you can go from being ignored to magnetic. Reason number 1, or motive number 1, that anyone wants to talk to you is to be entertained. We have this innate pull towards boredom, right? We're just always moving towards boredom. And so we want novel things, we want new things, we want to be entertained. And what's really tough nowadays, what has made the social landscape harder than it's ever been, is that if I want to be entertained, I've got a device sitting in my pocket with all sorts of social media and all sorts of other things, games, YouTube, whatever it may be, that are there to make sure that I am not bored. And so in a sense, I'm satisfied. But what this means is, like, even if we want to argue that that's good for the individual, when it comes to connecting with other people, we are now fighting up a taller hill than we've ever had to do. And so we need to become decently entertaining. But what does this look like? You don't just become entertaining, right? You don't just snap your fingers and transform. And so I want to break this down a little bit so that if you go, maybe that's my problem and I'm not being as entertaining as I could be, you can actually start to take action on this. So while there are a lot of different opportunities to become more entertaining, or a lot more paths to become entertaining, I'm only going to be touching on 3 in this video. And the first one is storytelling. There are a lot of things that go on in your life, or a lot of things that you hear about that you want to tell other people about because they matter to you. Maybe they're sad stories, maybe it's something funny that happened, maybe it's an achievement that you've recently had. And what sucks is that when you try to tell other people about it, they just kind of don't want to hear you. They go, yeah. And you can kind of just see all over their face that they're not interested. Maybe they interrupt you. Maybe they say, hey, I gotta go. And this is really tough because these stories, like I said, are really meaningful to us. And so we want to be able to convey them. We want to be able to share them. And so maybe it is that the things that are happening to us are not very interesting. Or maybe it is that they are, but we're just not presenting them in a very good way. Both of those things can be improved if we learn better how to be a better storyteller. And so while there are some of you who are watching this and they're going, wow, I'm super jazzed about learning how to do that. It would be so cool if I just completely derailed the whole concept of the video to now tell us how to tell stories. I'm not going to do that. But if you're really interested in learning more about that, or about any of the things that I'm talking about in this video, you want kind of a deeper dive, then let me know down in the comments so I can know what you guys really want, what would really benefit you guys. And I just like having conversations with you guys down in the comments. And so that applies for this, and that applies for anything else that I touch on. So that's number 1, the first opportunity to become more entertaining. Now, number 2 is to become more humorous, to become funnier. Now, you may be thinking, cool, how do I just become funnier? People don't laugh at my jokes, and honestly, I've just given up on trying. And I would say that the key to becoming funnier is the key to becoming better at anything, which is that you have to keep on trying and you have to pay attention. I've seen people even here on YouTube who are trying to start channels and they get like 400 videos in and they're just not getting the traction that they want. And so while trying is really important, it's also really important to go, what is making this person laugh and what is maybe not making this person laugh, and kind of trying to adjust what you're doing based off of that. And that's assuming that you are telling jokes to people that are going to be sticking around and that you want to stick around. So this obviously does get more complex than what I'm saying, but at its core, what we really want to be doing is trying a bunch and paying attention and adjusting our course based off of that. Now, the third opportunity to become more entertaining is probably something that will surprise you, and that is card magic, or magic in general, but I have a leaning towards cards because this is what I really got into. As you can see, this is just a normal deck of like bicycle playing cards, but I've got this cool like metal case around it. So as you can see, I kind of nerded out on this stuff for a while, but this stuff, card magic, was really what turned things around for me when it came to social skills. I had very little confidence when it came to talking to people because I went, what do I really have to offer? Why would anyone want to talk to me? And so when I started doing card magic, then that gave me something to offer, and it gave me something that is pretty unique. There are not many people who are playing around with cards, learning tricks, but everyone is totally down to learn tricks. And so this is a really good thing to get into. And I actually prefer it over storytelling and humor. And the reason is because a lot of my ability to tell stories and to be as funny as I am was actually developed when I was performing these card tricks. I would mess up in something and I would like have to come up with something to say, some sort of joke to make like the tension go away of me like messing up a trick, or during a trick I'd be telling a story to kind of give some sort of lore to what was about to go on, whatever it may be. I think that this is one of the coolest things that you can get into, simply because, like I said, it's not done very much, and yet pretty much everyone wants to see a trick. So those are 3 different opportunities to become more entertaining if you are noticing that that is what you are lacking. But hey, maybe being entertaining is not a problem for you at all, and yet your social situation is not what you want it to be. That brings us to motive number 2. And that motive is that people want to talk to other people so that they can learn. You may think, man, I'm done with school, I don't want to be learning. But really, it's not that we dislike learning, it's just that we dislike the way that school teaches us. We're being taught in an environment that we really don't like, and we're being taught a lot of things that we're really not interested in. But there is a lot of useful information that can help us solve problems, that can help us live an easier or maybe more fun life, that yeah, of course we want to learn that kind of stuff. Like if you're watching this video, you want to learn how to improve your social life. And so there are going to be other people who don't see this video. And if you could take what you're learning here and teach it to them, then that would be something that they are interested in. So we could actually consider like that, watching educational YouTube videos, to be the first opportunity to become someone who is more knowledgeable and who can teach other people. Opportunity number 2 is to listen to podcasts. Now, podcasts are great because they are so convenient, but honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, podcasts are so popular that I don't really have to sell you on them, right? They're around, you know what's cool about them, you've tried them, you haven't, whatever it may be. But if you're interested in getting into a podcast that I highly recommend, then I would check out Where Do We Begin? Or maybe it's Where Should We Begin? I don't remember, I'll pop it up on the screen. In this podcast, we get to listen to Esther Perel, a accomplished relationship counselor, and we get to listen in to like one-on-one or one-on-two relationship counseling sessions. So this is a pretty different kind of podcast. It's not just people talking about things. We get into the trenches. We get to hear people really getting into things. And I'm endlessly entertained by that one. So the second way that we can become more knowledgeable is actually one of my favorites, as you can probably see, and that is reading. Now, while reading has all sorts of benefits, I want to focus mainly on how this can help you to cause people to want to be around you more. And that is by reading books that have very useful and practical knowledge in them. While reading novels is great, when we can learn practical information that can help make other people's lives easier, and we start to become known as that person, then people really begin to flock in because everyone is dealing with issues. And so if you can help them with that, then that's a gold mine. Now, we've covered the first 2 motives, the first being to be entertained, and the second to learn something. Our third one is actually to be validated. All the time we are feeling things. And when we feel these things, we want these feelings to be echoed back to us. Let me give you an example. Let's say something amazing has happened to you and you come and you share it with me and I go, okay, that's going to really put a damper on your mood. And if I do that enough, you're not going to want to come and talk to me about things that are exciting to you. Additionally, if you go, man, I'm just really having a tough day today. And I go, okay, get over it, dude. It's not a big deal. Then again, you are going to go, cool, Josue is just not someone who I really want to talk to about anything of like how I'm feeling. Instead, we should be reflecting these emotions back. And when someone says, wow, like this really cool, exciting thing happened, you get excited with them and you go, wow, like that's so cool. I'm so happy for you. I know that you've been working really hard on this, and that is wonderful that you finally achieved it. So when it comes to developing our validation muscle, where we can echo back these feelings really well, the first opportunity or the first step that we really need to take when it comes to this is to shut up. Stop talking. Let the other person talk. Let the other person get whatever is on their chest out, unless you are encouraging them to tell you more. If they go, hey, this really exciting thing happened, you can go, dude, that's amazing. Tell me more about that. Because that's what they want to do. They want to just gush about this wonderful thing. Or if they're sad, they can be like, yeah, this thing happened. And you go, oh man, dude, like tell me more. The next part of this is to be very clear on whether they want advice or not. Many times when we're trying to express our emotions, that's really all we're trying to do. We're very much in the zone of emotions, and we're not in a place where we can grab the bull by the logical horns and start to piece together what our next steps are, because we just want to feel what we're feeling. This applies to guys and girls. And so be very clear. You can literally just say like, hey, do you want me to listen to you and like listen to how you're feeling and things like that? Or is this like a planning session? And so after we have shut up, encouraged them to talk, and figured out whether we are in advice giving mode or just listening mode, we want to just reflect whatever the person is feeling back at them. Like I've mentioned before, if they're happy, be happy for them. If they're sad, be sad with them. It really is that simple. And even though it's that simple, it is so meaningful for people. So I highly recommend you try it out. Now we are at the fourth and final motive for the reasons why people want to come to you to talk to you. And the fourth thing is to get something out of you. All the time we're playing this game of resources, whether those resources are time and money, or it could be attention, it could be thinking power, it could be literally like strength, it could be all these different things. Everybody has these resources, but there are also limits to these resources. And so when we can work with someone else, we are able to achieve more. So if you have an abundance of these resources, then you can offer them to other people and they are going to want to come to you more. Let's break down a few ways that you can be more useful to people. The first way is to improve your introduction game. Let's say we were hanging out and going to a social event with other people who I knew. If I go there and, I meet people and I say, yeah, this is Jim. And that's it. That's not that great. Whereas if instead I say, hey, this is Jim, and by the way, he is super good at pool. He will smoke you. Is there a pool table here? I want to show you guys because this guy is crazy. When you develop this muscle to have really good introductions, then people want to be around you because the moment that you meet someone else, they are automatically going to gain in status because they know, hey, this person thinks really well of me and they want other people to think really well of me. And so this is a great way of making people want to be around you more. The second way that we can be more useful to people is by freeing up our time. There are so many things that we do in a day that frankly aren't necessary. That doesn't mean we shouldn't do them, but we should recognize them for what they are and be ready to cut those plans out and replace them if somebody needs our help. Now, let's imagine that someone calls you up and asks you to help them move, and you tell them no. Now, maybe you have a perfectly legitimate reason for not being available, or maybe you were just going to binge watch the latest season of Severance. Either way, because you said no, they are going to be less likely to call you up the next time they need something. And this is not good. The more we free up our time, the more we can say yes to other people, the more dependable they see us, and the more they want to be around us. I swear I have friendships that are mainly built on the fact that I never said no to taking them to the airport. I'm talking, I would wake up at like 2 o'clock in the morning to make sure that they got there on time. Now, am I saying that you have to do that? No, but I think you get the point. The more free time you have, the more time you can give to other people. Our third option when it comes to becoming more useful to people is to become a social connector. Maybe you can't help this person with what they're asking for, but maybe you know someone who can. It's actually not that hard to start doing this. All you have to do is make a list of all the people who you know and could easily contact, and then next to their names, write down one thing that they do better than anyone else you know. Then when someone asks you for help, you can say, I can't help, but I've got this friend Saul, and he is super good at exactly what you're looking for. And what's great is when you are that connector, then at least some of those social brownie points go to you as well. Now, even though we've gotten through all 4 of the motivations for why anyone wants to talk to anyone else, the video is obviously not over. As you know, relationships are a two-way street. This means that we can take these 4 motives and invert them to get double the social benefits. Let's take a look at what that looks like. And since we're inverting them, we are going to be going through these backwards. And so our first one, it was the last one last time, and that is that not only do people want to get something from us, but they also want to give something to us. Everybody loves feeling useful, especially if it does not cost them all that much to do so. The easiest way to do this is to simply ask for something. It could literally be anything. And when they are able to provide what you are asking for, this gives you the opportunity to lavish them with genuine appreciation. And when they feel that, they go, wow, this felt really good. I am appreciated for the effort that I've put in. Next time that this person asks for help, I'm going to want to help them more. We can then add on to this, because if they start building this pattern of being dependable, then we should let them know that they are dependable and that we recognize and appreciate that. You're going to see that this develops a bit of a pattern as we keep on going through. Now, one other thing that you can do is actually something that we talked about in the first half of the video, and that is whenever you ask someone for something and they're not able to provide it, you can ask them, hey, do you know of anyone who could do this instead? Then whenever the service is rendered or whatever it may be, then you can come back to this person and again say, oh man, this was amazing. I could not have done this without you connecting me with that other person. Now, when it comes to validation, it is important, if someone really is good at validating your feelings, that you let them know. You could tell them something like, whenever I really want to celebrate, I come to you because I really feel like you reflect that back to me and I really appreciate it. Or you could say, whenever I'm feeling down, I know that I can talk to you and you're going to hear me out and help me feel better. Thank you for doing that. Moving on, if someone is really good at teaching things, then you could tell them that. You could say, you are so smart, or I've never thought about things like that. To someone who really likes learning and sharing what they learn, those comments are going to mean the world to them. And finally, when someone is really good at telling stories or being funny, let them know. Not only through laughing, not only through paying attention, but literally just saying, you are such a good storyteller. Or, oh my goodness, you are so funny. When we take a moment to clearly recognize the aspects in others that we appreciate, they are more likely to want to be around us because they like feeling that appreciation, and they're more likely to continue to exhibit these behaviors of being entertaining, validating, teaching or being useful. And so then we just all get to have a better time because of that. So that brings us to the end of our video. Which of these 4 motives are you a master of, and which do you need to work on a little bit more? Also, am I missing something? Is there a 5th one? Let me know in the comments. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe so you can check on the next video, and if you are a shy young guy trying to improve your relationship game, if you're trying to start dating your dream girl, and you want to do it quicker than you even think is possible, then make sure to scroll to the link in the description or scan the QR code so that you can book a call with me and we can get started. I'll see you guys next time.